The father, Steve Jobs, one of the founders of Apple. Steve Jobs was born in California to a Syrian father and an American mother. They were married and they gave him up for adoption. His special world was when he was in college, his parents couldn't afford the tuition, and so he quit. And he wanted to leave college. He quit. So the call was just to leave and let his parents kind of save their money. But he refused the call in the sense that he stayed in college. He showed up to some classes, didn't sign up, didn't pay, and he made money basically returning Coke bottles and getting money to eat. And he slept on people's floors. Until he was encouraged by a mentor, Mike McCullough, who was somebody at Intel at the time, to create Apple with his co-founders. And the first threshold came in 1976, where they launched Apple as a company. And of course, there were test allies and enemies. Radio Shack and Commodore were the companies out there, they were the incumbents trying to put Apple down. But they made it through. The major ordeal that Steve Jobs faced was in 1984, the Apple computer, the Apple Macintosh was launched to an industry-wide sales slump. In 1985, he got fired as the CEO and as chairman of Apple. Very public failure. And he created a company a year later called Next. Next ended up creating software. In the beginning, Next also had problems. So they were losing money for their hardware division. Eventually they sold that, and the company got acquired by Apple in 1996. Steve Jobs returned home one more time to Apple as the CEO. So started Apple, that came back to Apple. Hero's journeys typically follow that. And the elixir is something that's probably in all your pockets. It's the iPhone, the iMac, the iPod, I don't know what comes next. Entrepreneurs are heroes as well. They're heroes because they face something, there's a new area that hasn't been explored yet, they have an idea, they come out, they face the market, and eventually something wins and something doesn't. But what's very important is mentorship, and that's why we're here today. 80% of all businesses when they first launch die out very quickly. But around 75% of all jobs in the that are held today, or the new jobs in the last 3 or 4 years, are based on companies that didn't exist 5 years ago. So the only thing that's going to really absorb youth is the entrepreneurs. And with that as an introduction, I'd like to introduce 4 of our entrepreneurs tonight. Barra, Taiba, Rayan, Mahan, and Nabila. One of our heroes who will tell you the story of their journey using the same 12 stages I just outlined. Rayan?
My name is Rayan Karkadan. I'm a medical student at King Abdulaziz University, and this is my ordinary world. This is a picture of a blind woman whose diabetes has prevented her from the simple right to see. The other picture is of a diabetic foot facing amputation. Diabetes is the leading cause of acquired blindness today. And in 2004, in Saudi Arabia, 23.7% of the population were diabetic. That means that one of us 4, God forbid, will develop diabetes. I lived oblivious or indifferent to this problem until my call came in the form of a community medicine project that asked us to design a health promotion program to fight this disease. Now I got excited. I'm a medical student. All I wanted was a full mark. I was naive, I admit. But nonetheless, we got excited and I got my team together. But my reluctance came with the very first phone call I made. And it was to someone from the Ministry of Education, and the answer I got was discouraging. I asked him a question and he said, "Son, we have no documents on the topic. I'd love to help you, but good luck." Click.